Up everyone. All right, outlook for today. We'll start on EU. Awesome, my internet's going a little bit slow now. That's great. Okay, so positioning, obviously, we're quite aggressive today throughout Asia. Realistically speaking, we've been quite aggressive since Tuesday. Obviously, price has been very, very bullish, making it a little bit tricky when we come into areas that are valid to sell from. Obviously, yesterday we've taken a fair amount of liquidity. Again, through all these points, we've come to the mitigation of this area now, which is a valid demand to supply area that has induced liquidity. So quite a strong point. Did obviously lead to the break of that major low there. So it's quite a strong area, definitely somewhere that can hold and hold for a reasonable amount of time. But given the momentum, we may very well blow through it. However, given all the liquidity that's been taken in the mitigation, we've not yet taken anything to the downside that would help for buyers to regain control. Looking at this demand area here, we've got those equal lows built up at Asia low, which is retest of this point, which is more or less retest of that break as well. However, I am okay with buying out of this demand, just given the fact that it did take liquidity in itself. However, not too keen on it. If I am going to buy out of this demand area, I would like to see something like this. Take Asia low, bring in some buyers, then introduce into the mitigation of it and buy up from there. Otherwise, we can come down, induce this low, and then buy up from there as well, which would be a far better option. Just need to be mindful that it'd be probably a later London session, given where we're positioning in relation to this. It's a fair gap still there, so we don't want it to just melt down to it. The first point that I'm open to, though, is this demand area selling through it. So obviously, we're coming out of this point. There's no liquidity inside this leg. There's no liquidity yet inside this leg, not looking like there's going to be. This demand also took no liquidity and it shouldn't hold against this. So basing on that, I am open to selling through this demand. If we can get something like this, pull down to here, pull up, induce that high, that'll bring in some nice buyers, retesting that break there as well, or sorry, inducing the retest of that break. I'm then happy to sell from there, targeting more or less that inducement and the mitigation of that area down the bottom there. So we'll see what that wants to do. But yeah, hopefully we can just hang around here, get that sell opportunity. I don't really want to be selling against the momentum, but given current positioning, it's really the only thing that makes sense from a liquidity and structure point of view. So they may be short-lived, and I'll probably be pretty aggressive on the break even if I am getting in a sell. So yeah, we'll see what it wants to do. I'd rather it buy, but if we're going to buy, we need to come more or less really to the inducement of that demand. It's kind of going to be our best bet there. So we'll see what that wants to do. That'll be a later setup if it does happen. All right, GU. GU is a little bit basically the exact same, to be honest. Mitigating obviously this supply area, which took liquidity. It's not a demand to supply like EU, but it is a very, very valid supply. We've also induced this valid supply into the mitigation of it and started getting that sell off straight away. So again, same thing, good liquidity taken, good mitigation, expecting a sell off. But against this momentum, I'm not expecting a huge sell. Although if we think about where we are in relation to that bearish leg there, we're quite deep in it now. So we're starting to get to a point where it very well can sell. We've taken heaps of liquidity running across here now. So we'll see what it wants to do. Coming into today, what I'm looking at on GU is the same as EU. Got this really average demand here, no liquidity here, no liquidity on the complex pullback. This demand didn't take any liquidity, so I'm not expecting it to hold. Happy to sell through here for the exact same setup, come up, induce high, inducing the retest of that break, get that set up there, sell down, break even at the low. For GU though, for the odd time, I'm actually open to buying off the take of Asia low in itself, given that it's a two-leg, it's an actual valid demand. So I'm actually open to that. What I would need to see would be to obviously come down. I would need to take the low, have a smart money point, have that as my inducement, come up, manipulate out of here, and then give some sort of setup from there. I'm going to need a smart money play off the back of this to be able to buy there. The other side of it is we come down, take this low, which is a retest of that break. Open to that as well. But same situation as EU. This is a fair way away from where we are right now. So for it to get there in the next 50 minutes, it's going to have to be very aggressive, and I won't be buying against that momentum. So Yeah, if it does get down there, it's going to be a later London session, exact same as EU. They're pretty much carbon copies of one another right now. First bet is looking for sells through this point. If we push up on both pairs, honestly, I'm not going to touch it. Yeah, if we drive through, we're just too bullish, eh? Like if we, it's a really good inducement, but if we get up there, like you can just see the momentum's just crazy. I don't want to sell against it. So I'll be sitting out if we push bullish and leaving it for another day. So hopefully we don't do that and we'll see what it does give anyway.